Welcome back. You're looking live. Isn't that Brent Musburger? You know why he used to say that? You know, he used to say that for the gamblers. Because he see that it was raining live, they might change their bet. And Brent Musburger is a complete degenerate gambler. He actually has a gambling business in Vegas. You're looking live.
Man, I'm all kinds of stuff.
Looking live.
Say hi to
Cleveland
Brent.
Stadium. There you go. Brent Musburger. Okay, so thank you for welcome back. Thanks for joining us here. We're at the end of our tour. I will give you a little bit of an advance. Those who are sticking around, Steve's been smoking 30 this morning. Really nice Texas grill out back with a little bit of maple and oak smoke on that, and I can tell you it's filling the air. But before we get there, one of the things realizing from research looking at how golf courses are adopting best has indicated that for the most part, a lot of the things you do on the golf course, we're finding pretty good adherence with best management practices. We have some work to do with buffers, you know, making as much green banks and things that Steve's doing really well out there. Sometimes there's a problem because it doesn't make the place look as manicured, right? Mm-hmm. But by far, the biggest risk to environmental quality on golf courses, where we wash our equipment and store our products, right, and work in the shop, the chemicals and nutrients that we then release into the environment poses a very direct, what we call point source contamination, or and the stream, you can point it, sample the water, and say that's where the coming, hence the name point source. This is our biggest point source problem, the equipment washing pads. We've been fussing around, and I've been very outspoken. We got to fix these things. With Rick Slattery, the former superintendent at Locust Hill, the golf course, and other people have tried them. I'm at the point now where I don't care what you do. You want to build one? There's a whole bunch of things you got to worry about there by yourself. If you want to do a DIY, we've got all the specifications that are going to be coming out. More people are opting for the prefab units, and this unit Steve's got here is one that's gotten to be very popular, and I know you can see why, because you can't see it. This thing, and I think when we were looking at the videos in there, Steve, you had a picture of this tank.
Yep.
So for those of you that can't see, behind us is a gravel pad, and in this thing is one tank. The whole thing is pitched to collect this.
Yep.
So you wash equipment, you can scrape off some. Look at that. Whoa, you got all kinds of stuff here. Whoa. So this is great.
There's two of these in here.
So you're filtering out material with this, a little bit more with this, and even more with this, before it even gets into some kind of treatment.
But before this, and we do backpack blowers.
Okay.
Backpack blowers are, you know, if they're not running every day, if they're hard to start. We had a nice member who gave us an old air compressor he didn't want, 100 CFM. We've modified it with a long air gun on it, made out of half-inch pipe with a valve on it, and it's just beautiful.
Air.
It's just high
Where do you
pressure.
blow it off? Here?
We blow it off. That's not going to last. We're probably going to have to come up with you do generate a ton. Anyone who blows equipment off, which we probably all do, you generate a lot. That'll eventually kill grass because it is fertilizer.
And you don't want to keep it in the same place either.
So we're going to buy a small manure spreader. They're like a couple of grand. Collect it, probably on a hard surface, blow on a hard surface.
And spread it.
That's I think.
All right, so the first step is,
what
that. Rick's work showed at Locust Hill. As soon as he blows off the clippings, he uses half as much water.
Absolutely.
Then he gets not this kind of nozzle, but a brass nozzle that you can dial back the
You're live now.
So once you nozzle this, now we were out at a couple of places. The typical move is cut the hose. That's everybody's move in this business. Cut the hose. I'm cutting the hose. This ability to regulate how much you need here, like Rick's thing showed that if with a certain amount of flow, he could clean the equipment and cut his water use in half again. Now you're using significantly less water to start with. And why is that? It's important because that's how you size the damn system. If you water to
closed system.
Right now, it's coming out of that tank.
Yeah.
All right. So I've given the principles. Would you walk everybody through
Sure.
what's going on?
Left. Turn left. So. Yeah.
Where you
Way and installed $46,000. It's
all in.
All in. That's it. They're driving out the driveway. That's it.
Okay.
And the masons.
And the
that
masons.
included, that should add this. That included this concrete pad. So another 4 or 5.
Okay.
Okay.
So 40-something grand, all in, turnkey.
Yep.
So why did you pick this one? And talk a little. We're going to get into this thing a little bit. Right?
System.
We saw mics on that trip.
On the walk and talk last year. Joe's got one. Joe's got like a. What do you got, Joe?
They don't even make it anymore, but I can't even remember.
Oh, that cycling system where you've got the trench that takes it out. It's pretty
The
good
water
though.
goes one way and then the other way, right? And then it goes down.
Yeah, yeah.
So
it's not recycling.
it was on my mind. What do I want? The new shop's going in. There's money. Let's. What do we want to look at? And that was the first thing. How do I want it all to look? And being underground did the looks thing for me, but it also, if you believe their marketing, you're not up above ground in ambient air temperature, which is going to create more microbial smells possibly. It seems to be better to keep it cool underground, and they say their own proprietary microbe enzyme mix that works at a colder temperature. I like the look. The price is about $20,000 less than the whole all-in ESD price, and they were a nice company to work with. Honestly.
Okay, so let's talk about how it works. You
Okay,
blow the stuff off. You turn the water on.
First, we're going to finish our concrete with brush finish. No big deal. It's nothing fancy, but it has to be perpendicular to your water flow, and that actually function as less there if by these ridges. So this is really important. I wasn't thinking about it, but it does make sense. So this is your first filter. This is your second filter. After that, we go to our first chamber. Now it's 1,500 gallons.
Oh, wow.
It's got a 24/7 air pump in this middle chamber.
So it's one tank, but many
One
chambers.
tank, first chamber, second chamber, and this is the third chamber. Both of these. This is just a dummy lid with the air pump in it.
Okay, for that.
For the whole thing, it's constantly being aerated.
Fish tank pump.
Yeah, it's constantly having aeration in all chambers. This is for the first group of solids. We've got a foam filter here. I don't want to pull this out because it's fussy getting it back in, but there's a 3-foot by 2-foot coarse foam filter that's got a float ball in it. It will shut oil if you got to activate. Shut down. So oil. It have an oil detector here. It's in this box behind you.
And then what does it do? It puts it into the filter.
It isolates your pump chamber from your filtration chambers. So if that oil is off, that's likely shut. Then you pump, call Safety Clean, they come get it, and your water. It's a fail-safe, exactly.
Okay.
All right, so then
Is it just a little bit of petroleum? You're talking about a tank
it's a
emptying.
lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
So a little bit will just go on the foam.
Does it happen?
No, and any light leaks off hoses and
no
real
problem.
motors. No,
It gets on that foam though.
It gets on. Oh yeah.
So the foam grabs the petroleum.
and you blow that out a couple of times a year and collect that and put it wherever you're going to put it.
Okay.
Someplace safe. The overflow pipe at that end, if this is full to the brim and we get a big rain, that water is going to go over here and get to a certain height and go off into a drain pipe. That
Not
goes,
mix.
Not mix. There's nowhere it can go. When you're full, you're full. Okay, so when this tank is 1,500 gallons, it pees
starts-
out, and we're going to look at where that goes.
How do you ever have to add water?
We have water all the time.
Where is it going?
So so on this pad, and I wasn't even thinking about this. The water that sits on there on a hot 11 o'clock morning
evaporates
it
off.
evaporates immediately. Do that for a couple of weeks.
So you've had to add water.
100 gallons when it's dry and arid. 100 gallons.
Is there a trigger that lets you know you got to do that?
I check.
So there's a level.
Yeah, I look if my pumps are. I see too much of if my intakes are not being the way I want them to be covered.
Oh, there's your intakes down there. For you that haven't seen this.
These are just well pumps. They're just you can buy them anywhere. They're not nothing exotic.
Once you're done kind of using for the season, winterization.
No, he says leave it alone. You don't have to do anything.
No way to keep the air going. Or
You
no?
keep the air going. That's going to keep
all year.
the ice from forming. Being underground,
Buffers the temperature a little bit.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about that, to tell you the truth. But he says they've got them all over the world and they're working. So
No insulation on the top or anything for the winter.
no, but the whole so let's talk about the installation. This tank is bedded in concrete, wet concrete, just firm enough that it sits down and makes it a depression. Oh. Then we pour concrete around it.
Real concrete,
Real
not
concrete,
wet concrete.
and 8 inches thick around the whole thing, and keep going and keep going and keep going, and it's a concrete tank now with a fiberglass liner that's chambered. So as far as like damaging the fiberglass, now it's a concrete tank around fiberglass. So it's
On the
pretty,
bottom, it firms up, but it starts out wet, like the bottom
it starts
of a
out
pool
wet.
or
You
something.
let it sit, or just have the mix a little drier.
Yeah.
Just so it doesn't sink to the
Right.
base.
So where's the pipe for it to go out?
See that?
Is that it
yep,
there?
that's it there. And when it gets tight, it drains this way. Where we used to wash equipment, I'll show you. That's where overflow goes.
So
That's just over water.
in hindsight, would you put a Does the roof solve that problem?
I think it's gonna. If I did, it would be because I don't have to add water. The
yeah, because
evaporation
Mike's
would be
got
cut way down.
got a roof on his.
If money was no object, I'd put a roof up, and I'd make it cover these two. These are double wall. They don't need it, but
Yeah.
Heat. Just
Yeah.
heat and weather and things wear out.
Yeah, for sure. So, disposables and maintenance. There's microbes involved. Do you
Yeah,
have
there's.
to add them,
Yeah,
or do you add them?
we're supposed to do it Friday, but I wanted to wait for the rain to go through, so nothing's washing out.
Okay.
Lickety split. So we could add them right now if you wanted, or
So you have to add them how often?
once a week we do 5 tablespoons of their enzyme microbial digesters.
So that sounds insignificant
Oh yeah.
as far as cost
Yeah,
goes.
but the smell. So if you want to check it out, check out the quality of the water. Just turn that switch to the right. Give that water a whiff. It doesn't smell like you'd think. It doesn't smell like putrid wash
Because
water.
it's recycled, right? How long has this water been in here? All season?
Yeah, it's the same water.
It's the same
That's
water?
the point. It's the same water. You're not putting new water in. It doesn't smell like a cesspool. But where you
It doesn't smell at all. But here's the interesting thing. When you're only cleaning equipment with it, it doesn't have to be perfectly clean.
No, in that first chamber, if you stick your head in there in August, it stinks. And then
So-
by the end of the chamber, it's not. It's just smells grassy, but it's not like wow.
So, okay, how many gallons do you have to wash your equipment with?
Forever gallons.
You haven't ran it dry yet.
No.
It's
a loop.
Well,
a loop.
but when you're washing, let's say you got 3 fairway mowers and 2 rough mowers all here at the same time.
Never. It's constantly refreshing. Once
is.
that connection is made, once that first drop goes down, Now you're just looping it.
So you haven't run low
No,
on being
no,
able to wash.
No, not even close.
That's great.
So, and I didn't measure my, this is what another regret, I should have measured how much water we were using, thank you, on the way we used to do it, which is just a hose to the irrigation system and you're just
Oh, so
blowing
you
it
just size this up roughly
It's
based
the
on what
smallest one they make.
Oh, okay. Is this the size that Josh did at
Yes.
Saratoga? And
Yep.
Andy, you're thinking about this one?
Yeah, we're going to do this one.
Yeah.
But we're going to do a roof structure over top of ours, have a blow-off station with it, so we can have blow-off.
That's
Right.
that's great. So
And all my gutters are going to go to the pad, so that'll be used as
Nice. Refill.
refill type of a deal.
Nice.
It needs-
And then again, you don't have to worry. You're telling me that if it rains or you get refill from the roof, it just flows out.
yeah,
I mean, Joe, you do this a little bit. Where are you, Joe Lucas? You do this a little bit. You just let the water flow along the trench in the driveway sometimes. Right? That's how you do with excess there, isn't it? So having the excess not mixed with your chemicals is important.
Yeah.
Let's go see the outlet
yeah, it's just nothing serious, but
because we want to go inside
yeah,
and see the
who's
Taj Mahal.
Yeah, oh yeah, and we got to eat. So
What time is it?
It's 11 o'clock.
Okay.
Who's playing golf? 3. Okay, that 11:45 is the times for y'all.
So we'll look at the outlet pipe and then into the shop.
all the drainage drain, all the pavement drain. It's just the top.